I don't know if you remember last year, but you talked about the challenges of, and you had a short turnaround also, but the challenges of bringing in, transfer portal offensive linemen when you got guys that have started and stuff. Well, you brought in 4 transfers and Bubba Craig also. I just wanted you to talk about the challenge and I guess the feeling of success that you were able to do that and put together an offensive line that really has. I mean, there might have been like 6 guys last year that could have started for you, in my opinion. It might be different for you, but you got a lot of competition now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. I mean, we had pregame meetings last year where it was like, hey, who's the backup right tackle? Joe Moore. Who's the right guard? Joe Moore. Who's the center? Joe Moore. And so we had some of those meetings last year. So it is different. I just think it's your job. You got to have a passion for acquiring talent. I mean, you're going to recruit your own sadness or happiness. So you got to go evaluate the players, get the guys you want, know what you're looking for, know what you need. The recipe is never the same year in and year out. Everybody's, the NFL has all their standards, their height, weight, all this stuff, but like personalities matter. Like, hey, I don't have any alphas right now. I need to go find an alpha. Or, hey, I need a brain. I need a real brainy guy. Okay, I need to go find a brain. So there's all these different attributes that come in when you're looking to put together a group, and I like to recruit diversity. I like to get guys from East Coast, West Coast, city boys, country boys. I think you got to have a little bit of everything, and that kind of puts those natural barriers of communication down where it's like, okay, we're all different, so we better start talking to each other. It's not just like, hey, we're all country boys, we're all city boys, And so I think all of that goes into it. I know maybe people don't think about it. You just want the highest star you can get or whatever. But, I mean, to me, the personality fit in our room is more important than anything just because of how connected we got to be.
No, you haven't really ironed out who's starting and who isn't. But last year when you look at the backup offensive line, as you kind of mentioned, you really just see like one future potential starter in Kobe Branham. And this year, you've got – Bubba Craig's a young guy, and Kavion's a young guy. I was wondering if you could talk about maybe those guys specifically and just, also having built a little bit of a foundation for the future also.
Yeah, so one thing, and I was joking with you last year, Trey, after you put that article, like, hey, they're screwed next year. I think Trey put out an article and said, what in the world will they do next year? And we hadn't even played a game yet. So I was like, cool, Trey, good article. And but my point is, that was intentional to go get portal guys that were young. Like finding redshirt freshmen and Shaq and Kavion in the portal, that was on purpose. Because I knew we had to go get a vet left tackle or just the best left tackle we could get. And then it was like, okay, let's get a vet here, a vet center, but hey, let me get a young tackle, all right, who's early in his career that can play behind Corey Robinson and develop and learn the game from him. So, again, it just kind of goes back to everything was intentional with what we targeted. It wasn't just like, hey, throw the net out wide and just hope you get 4 or 5 guys, right? I wouldn't have taken Bubba Craig if he only had 2 years left, but he had 3, so I took him. So all that goes into it when you're deciding how that room's going to be built up.
You mentioned you had some other guys taking first-team reps at center last couple of days. How's Brooks looked, and has anybody else gotten some top reps?
Yeah, Brooks and Cash have both been doing one center. Caden was a little banged up the last couple of days, but so they've both done one center reps, and they're both doing a great job. I mean, there's you don't feel sometimes when you put in 2 and 3 center, it's like, hey, the line goes the wrong way. You have something like that, but we're not having those. And so because to me, and there's a lot of pressure, like, hey, you guys are snapping the ball to Taylor Green. So if you make the wrong protection call and you mess up that guy, we got a problem. Okay, so I think they feel that ownership of like, hey, man, I got these vets around me. I got a veteran quarterback. And Talon helps us a lot with that too. Like Talon will make those blitz checks and those run checks because he's another year in. So he can help our centers even more so with what he sees, because he has big vision. We try to have big vision, but we don't always have big vision. Talon does. So he's helped those centers a ton too, just giving them confidence.
The knee braces for all linemen have been around for a while. Is that just a de facto, that's what we're doing, or are you like a big advocate? And do you think the stats say it lessens injuries for knees?
Well, what we do here at Arkansas, our policy is when we're in padded practices, we wear knee braces. Games are optional. So if they want to wear them in games or they don't want to wear them in games, it's up to them. But when we're in padded practices, we wear them. When we're in non-padded, we don't. If you're asking my personal opinion on it, let's not try to light the world on fire. I think of the movie Forrest Gump. Okay, you got little Forrest. He's got these braces on, right? And he's been told, man, you're slow, stiff walker, right? And then the boys start chasing him, and those knee braces pop off, and he's the fastest thing in Alabama. So that's my belief, as I think they're a little restrictive, and we're already the worst athletes on the field, so I would like to not make that even more so.
Didn't expect that, but thank you very much, Eric. How's City Boy Corey Robinson doing? Is he kind of living up to what you expected to get from him?
Yeah, super proud of him. He's done a good job. He knew the great thing about Corey is he's very coachable. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, and he's not satisfied. I think he was really looking to compete in this conference. He wanted to show that he could play 8 games in the SEC and the 9th in the championship, and he wanted to show he could do it. And he needs to be part of that group of combine tackles that everybody's talking about next year. And he's done a good job. He's not perfect. He's got a lot of stuff to work on, but he's an eager and willing soldier.
I've got one more center question. With Caden, you mentioned how good he is at recognizing things and making calls and stuff like that. How do you go about recruiting that? Like, do you know that he's going to be good at that, or is it kind of luck of the draw? Because that's not something really that shows up on film, I would imagine. How do you go about recruiting that aspect of a center?
Talk to him. You just got to talk. You got to get a feel. Like I said, I've been super blessed to have been around some awesome centers. I think 3 of them guys I've been around are still starting in the league. Frank was a 4th. So I've been really lucky, and so you just know. You just know, does he have that personality? I've had the brainiac nerd guys be good centers. I've had the dude bro guys that have been good centers. But it's really like a passion for football knowledge that you're looking. Like, does this guy have a passion for knowing ball? Okay? And I think that's really the thing you're looking for with a center is, man, he just can't get enough of it. He's a junkie when it comes to football. Whether they're, type A or type B, that really doesn't matter. It's really like, do they just love ball? And I think that's when you recruit and you talk to them and you ask them questions. Hey, you send them a clip. Hey, you did this on this play. Why did you do this versus Florida? Oh, I did it because of this, this, and this. Okay, that's a real answer. Whereas like, oh, my coach told me to. Like that's not a real answer. So same thing like any other position. You're always looking at, do they love the game? All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.